Probably you don't know it, but we do have a lot of mics. I want to present all of them to you, so I need to organize it somehow. Cześć, dzień dobry, welcome back to the channel. Today is a very important episode. What I have in front of me is a collection of microphones which we use in our studio. Today I'm just gonna briefly tell you what mics do we use, why we use them, and do I actually like these mics or not. So let's get started. Okay, let's start with this big fellas. You probably know these mics. This is Coles 4038. Very classic ribbon construction. As a ribbon mic, they're of course 8 pattern. We use them mostly on overheads, kick room mic, on guitars, on vocals, on acoustic guitars. A bit brighter than Royer, which we also have, but about it a bit later. They're really great, but they're super expensive and they're very delicate. So just put them back here. Okay, this one you've probably seen on many podcasts on YouTube. This is Shure SM7B, which is a dynamic mic, very good for kick out, very good for vocals, very good for hi-hat, but you need to be aware that it has very low signal, so you need a booster for it. We use the one called Cloud Lifter, which is pretty expensive and high-end, but there are some alternatives which are much cheaper, so you can buy that. Another very classic mic, Zenhiser 441, a very narrow hearing microphone, which is super useful, especially on hi-hat, especially on snare. And for example, in a live situation when you have a vocal and you don't want the mic to pick up all the noises from the stage or from the live room, you just want to have as much vocals and only vocals in your mic, then you choose this one, which is super useful in this instance. So I highly recommend it. It's a bit dark, but I like it. Okay, what's about this speaker? This is Solomon mic, and this is actually a sub kick. There is a speaker inside, as the name suggests, sub kick. It's on a kick drum and it just focuses on sub frequencies, so it's for the low end. Next pair of very classic microphones, Royer R121, which was a very much anticipated mic for me. I was dreaming about it. We have 2 of these and they're amazing. They're amazing on guitars, overheads, rooms, kick out. It's dark, focus on mid-range, and it sounds super sweet. Highly recommend it. Not cheap, but if you are running a recording studio, you have to make some sacrifices, right? We have another ribbon mic. This pair is from USSR, an old Soviet construction. It's super cheap. Of course, you can't buy it new. You have to find it on, I don't know, Craigslist. You can really pick it up for $300-400 and it sounds super sweet. It looks a bit like these guys here, but they're totally different mics. And you can use this on vocals, on guitars, on rooms, and recently we discovered that it sounds really amazing on hi-hat and it has a really low bleed of a snare, so amazing mic. Octava Mk12. Yes, you should pronounce it Octava. Small condenser mics, very edgy. They have a character in it. They're super useful on overheads and rooms. I highly recommend them, especially that they're quite affordable. This is the newest mic we acquired. This is Sennheiser E902. And we bought it actually to do one thing. The metal bands tends to want a lot of click and a lot of low end on the kick drum, and that's why we bought this mic. It's super affordable and it has it all. It has that click, that metal click. You don't have to do much about it. Yeah, it's pretty useful tool. But this one is a very special. I'm not sure if you're aware of this mic. This is Shure 545 Unidyne. It's a more edgy version of SM57. It has a super snappy transient and it's all the time on the snare, all the time. Sometimes when we have to record the guitar, it also goes to the guitar cap. If not, it's on the snare. Amazing dynamic mic, highly recommended. This one you probably know, Sennheiser E906. Very popular mic, especially for the guitar, and the construction of it is very flat, as you can see. You can just drop it on the cable and just use it without the stand. So it's very practically useful. It's very solid mic, nothing special about it, and with a bit of creativity and experience you can get a really solid results with it. It's not an excuse if you have this mic and your guitar doesn't sound good. It should. Okay, the classic one, do I really have to tell you more about it? It's of course Shure SM57, which is probably the most popular microphone on the planet. We have 3 of them. We use it on snare tops, snare bottom, guitars, vocals, toms, hi-hat, right, you name it. This is AKG D12E, which I'm not sure if you knew. It's a broadcast mic. You should, talk to it. But it's most famous for its use on a kick drum. So it's the kick mic mostly. It's a bit fragile for the SPL, but it works. And we use it from time to time when we need a bit more vintage sound. These are the Sennheiser 421, which is an amazing mic. We use it almost on every session. We use it on toms, we use it on guitars, and I love this mic on distorted bass. So if you want to record a dirty sounding bass guitar, I highly recommend this white fellow. As you can see, it's a white version, which is a vintage one. Nowadays they're black and they don't sound as good as these ones. They sound different. I prefer the white version. Of course, it's a dynamic mic. Dobra. AKG C414BULS, which is a very specific version. People say it's the best sounding version of this mic. Of course, you can buy it new, but not this version. We have 2. We use it on overheads, we use it on rooms, we use it on vocals, acoustic guitars. When you see it used somewhere for about, I don't know, let's say $800, just don't think about it, check if it works, and if it works, just buy it. You will not regret it. Another big condenser pair of mics. It's a louit Authentica LCT640. These mics are here for the really long time. I believe we have them for like 10 years. I believe these are made by the guys who used to work for AKG, so they're experienced. Correct me if I'm wrong in a comment. They sound really solid. If you don't have money for, I don't know, Neumann, I highly recommend it. Okay, another pair of big condenser mics, Mojave MA300. It's like a Neumann U87, and we use it mostly on rooms and overheads, and it used to be our main vocal mic. Sometimes we still use it. You always have to adapt according to the voice of the singer, so sometimes it works the best, not the most expensive mic. Speaking of the most expensive mic in our studio, Chandler TG mic, our recent purchase. It's an amazing big condenser mic. We use it on vocals almost all the time. We use it on bass guitar, we use it on kick out, we use it on an electric guitar. I wish that we would have 2, maybe one day. I love it. It looks great, it sounds great, and if you have a money, you will not regret it. It's amazing. It have also like a built-in EQ, which is really useful. Okay, and this pile of microphone, it's a collection of Telefunken. This one is M82. Theoretically, for the kick, have a EQ option built in, and it says kick EQ, so it's obvious it's for the kick. But you can use it as any other dynamic mic on vocals, on guitar, on bass, on toms. Just use your ears. It's really good on kick drums. So if you don't know what kick mic you want, pick this one. Vintage kick, modern kick. It always works. Okay, the gray Telefunkens M81. They're supposed to be tom mics, and we use it mostly in this instance, so on rack toms and floor toms. But it's a normal dynamic mic, so you can treat it as you would treat SM57 from Shure. So they're really well built. They're a bit smaller, so it's really easy to place them, and they're really sturdy. But as you can see, this capsule is already changed for another one because one drummer destroyed the original one, so it happened. Next to it, there is a black Telefunken. This one is supposed to be a snare mic. We don't use it that often on snare top because we use other mics, but we use it on bottom, we use it on toms, we use it on guitars. It's a really solid mic. It's not that cheap actually. In general, I highly recommend this set of Telefunken mics because it's a set of 7 mics. We bought it when we actually started the studio, and we use it since then for almost every session. If you don't have any drum mics, just pick up the 7 mic setup from Telefunken and you'll be fine. Okay, so this is our whole collection of microphones available in our studio. I hope this episode was useful. Thanks very much. The pleasure was all mine. Cheers, and till the next time. Bye.